Hi there, I'm Wendy, and today I'm showing you how to make a sweet potato nice cream. If you're following a whole food plant-based diet, you've probably come across nice cream before. Usually these are made out of bananas, and I love a good banana nice cream. I think the bananas give it a really great texture. But sometimes you don't want that banana flavor, and some people can't have bananas. So recently I tried making sweet potato nice cream, and I wanted to share that with you. Before we jump into the recipe, let's talk sweet potatoes. I recommend that you use either a Japanese sweet potato or a Jersey sweet potato. Japanese sweet potatoes have a sort of reddish colored skin, while the Jersey sweet potatoes are white on the outside. But both of these have a white flesh inside. If you're not finding Jersey sweet potatoes, that's just what they're called at my grocery store. But some places you might be able to find Hana yams, which are also white on the outside and inside. Either one of these sweet potatoes will work for this nice cream, but I prefer the Japanese sweet potatoes because they're just a little bit sweeter. And before you can make your nice cream, you'll have to cook the sweet potatoes. For the best and sweetest flavor, you'll want to roast the sweet potatoes, but for convenience, I just steamed mine in the Instant Pot. Once they're cooked and cooled, you'll take the skins off, and then you can either cut it up into cubes or mash the sweet potato. If you mash it up, you'll want to put it in a Ziploc bag and spread it in an even layer. This way you can defrost it a little bit so you can break it up to blend it. Otherwise, if you cut it into cubes like I did, you can just throw it in a bag and freeze it. You'll still want to let it defrost for at least 10 minutes or so before you blend, just to help your blender out. Once the sweet potatoes are ready, it's time to make our nice cream. The first thing I did was to soak some dates. I started with a cup of soy milk. You can use any kind of plant milk you like for this recipe. I just prefer soy. And then I'm adding medjool dates here. I take the pits out and then I like to chop them in a couple pieces. Chopping the dates and soaking them just helps the blender out. If you're using a high-powered blender like I am, you don't actually have to soak the dates, but since nice cream is really thick, it helps to get this really soft so that it blends nice and evenly and you don't get big chunks of dates. The next ingredient is completely optional. In fact, I normally don't use it, but I wanted to give it as an option. I'm adding about a quarter cup of raw cashews. You can soak this as long as overnight in the fridge, but I just soaked it about 30 or 40 minutes. Again, if you're using a high-powered blender, you don't need to soak it, but I just like to help the blender out a little bit. So I'm adding this in. And then we may need to add more milk at some point, but right now I'm just starting with the 1 cup. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend up the dates and the optional cashews. Once again, I'm pre-blending this just because nice cream is really thick, and so I wanna make sure there are no chunks of dates. Blending this part first will allow that to be a more homogeneous mixture. And then I almost forgot, I wanna add some vanilla powder as well. You can use vanilla extract. I just prefer the flavor of the vanilla powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in now and blend it just a little bit to mix that in. So now you can see I have a really nice and smooth mixture of our dates, cashews, and milk. And the final ingredient is our sweet potatoes. So we're gonna add those in carefully so you don't splash yourself. And then I'll be using the tamper for this. Again, because this is thick, you need to use the tamper to push the sweet potatoes around to get everything fully mixed. By the way, if you don't have a Vitamix, you could also make this in a food processor. That'll work as well. You might need to stop and scrape down the sides a couple of times. In the Vitamix, you should be able to get that signature vortex action, but you might have to add a little more liquid. When you're making a nice cream like this, it's more of a soft serve consistency. Here are a few more tips to help you improve your sweet potato nice cream. It's a good idea to defrost your frozen potatoes for at least 20 minutes before blending. Whether you chopped it into cubes like I did or mashed it and froze it flat, defrosting will help it to blend better. Generally, with traditional banana nice cream, it's advised not to use too much liquid, but I find I need to use a little more liquid with the sweet potato nice cream. The amount of liquid you need to use will depend on how many sweet potatoes you use, how much water was in those sweet potatoes, and how long you let them defrost before blending. So you just have to adjust as you go, and if your blender starts to struggle, try adding a little more liquid. You can also adjust the sweetness. I don't like things really sweet, So if you wanted it a little more sweet, add more dates, date sugar, or date syrup. When you first blend the sweet potato nice cream, it might actually remind you of mashed sweet potatoes. But you can improve the texture and make it more like a true ice cream by partially freezing and stirring. What you'll do is transfer the nice cream to a freezer-safe container and freeze for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Then you'll stir it around and refreeze. Even if you don't do this, you can get the same effect, it just takes a little muscle. That's what I'm showing you here. I let it freeze completely solid, and then after sitting out for a bit, I took a fork to break it up, and then I was able to stir it around. This creates a really nice ice cream texture. It's also much easier to scoop. Whether you do this stirring method or not, it will be quite solid, so it's best to take your nice cream out 20 or 30 minutes prior to eating so it can soften up. Finally, feel free to switch up the flavors. You can blend in some cacao, cocoa, or carob powder for a nice chocolatey flavor. You can top your nice cream with date syrup, nuts, or fruit. I love using cherries like I did here. You can stir these things in right after blending or simply sprinkle them on top. Have fun with it, using whatever flavors and add-ins you like. And that's about it. So let's give it a taste. It's so good. You definitely can tell that it's sweet potatoes, so it's not going to be like a traditional kind of ice cream, but it's really delicious. That's all I have for this video. If you've ever tried sweet potato nice cream, let me know what you think of it. It's definitely different, but if you love sweet potatoes like me, you'll probably love this nice cream. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.